The principle that we talked about yesterday, which is something you can do, you can always do this, is if you have a situation where you're dealing with a person who's being difficult, usually the reason behind that is that they are having a problem of some sort. And people don't have problems because they want to have problems. They have problems because something's up and they're struggling. They're struggling with their problem. So you can help them move through that struggle from a very quiet, safe, stable, and powerful position by, number one, putting attention on the area, the symptom, how their problem is coming to the surface. And then with the awareness on the symptom, we reflect deepest understanding at the heart level. Your heart will tell you what's going on with that person. What's the seed or the core of their concern? And believe me, if that person knew what the seed of their concern was, they already would have solved their problem. So if you're dealing with a difficult person or a difficult situation, it's because that person hasn't figured out what's the cause of their discomfort at this point. So you can do that for them to a certain degree. You can look at the symptom. It's always easier to see what's going on with other people, right? Sometimes if you're too close to the situation, it's like you can't see it, but it's easier from a distance. So you look at the symptom, you follow back to the core, the heart. Your heart is like the seat of connection to your finest feeling level, and it's also the seat of truth. Your heart always tells you the truth. So your heart will tell you what's the seed of that problem. What's the area where they're not feeling all right? Awareness on that spot, the seed, which is usually an abstract experience and can be experienced abstractly by you. It can be experienced as a sensation or a feeling or an impression or even maybe a visual guide or something like that. You feel that, and then using yourself as an anchor to the silent source of creation. You just anchor to silence, anchor to source. And in that position of you holding, it's like they're like a boat that's being pushed around by the waves at the surface of the ocean, and you become the anchor. Anchoring to source keeps you safe, and it keeps you unattached or gripped by their difficulties at the surface. And from that level of being the anchor, the source of creation brings forth the solution to their situation and problem. And it helps them kind of speed up that loop that they're in. When people are having difficulties, they're caught in a karmic grip, the grip of some karma, and a loop of destruction. Their situation somehow is breaking back down so that they can reset. And then it will build back up in a healthier manner. And by anchoring to silence, what you do is you support that process occurring in a more graceful, uninhibited manner. You do it in an uninhibited manner. And as a result, it helps that person kind of bust through the boundaries that they're grappling with. The beauty of it is you don't really have to do much. It's a situation of doing little and accomplishing a lot. The second part of the session, I got a question from a really exquisite woman, a saint, who has parents who have been married 55 years, and they're in their 80s, and they're having, they've successfully raised their family of amazing people, and they're really, really sweet, lovely people, but they're really hard on each other. And we looked at that, and it was right toward the end of the session, so I didn't really get to explore that in as much detail as I'd like. So I gave the big overarching view, which was when people who are knit together in a tight relationship are hard on each other, there's some lack of self-love on both sides, and that lack of self-love is founded, or it's sitting on a foundation of not realizing one's reality as divinity incarnate. Because if the recognition of oneself is not so much linked to or bound to small individuality, small ego, small self, but is able to recognize, oh, well, this vehicle, this human vehicle, is just a point on the star, which is that one wholeness of creation. And this point is here to experience the universe. And it's not so much me as an individual, but it's really the divine experiencing its own expansion through the human experience. Because, of course, that's the nature of having a human nervous system, is that we have this vehicle that allows us to experience expansion of consciousness, right? The one underlying wholeness of creation, it's already expanded. It's already literally everything. But in order to experience really everything, including the opposite of its own nature, to be just like wholeness, holding the whole universe, we have humans and other beings too, like animals and other beings that have nervous systems that allow themselves to experience reality in a sequential unfoldment of moments. And it's that nature of breaking down time as a sequential unfoldment that gives us the ability to experience a step forward and then another step forward and then another step forward, like that. So that's that experience of expansion of consciousness. It's beautiful.